All right, in a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by Eryk Anders, your boy. What a big win for him on Saturday. He got a performance bonus. He scored, in my opinion, one of the leading candidates for knockout of the year. It was unbelievable. Third round, just seconds remaining, 18 to be exact. Tim Williams getting up, boom. Just like his old days over at Alabama, although he wasn't a punter or a kicker, he knocked his head off, and it was vicious, and a lot of people thought initially that it was illegal. It was not illegal. They slowed it down phenomenally. They did a great job of letting us know that it was just legal, and it was just a spectacular sight. So let's go back to the Skype machine and say hello to Eryk Anders, talk about that big win and more. He joins us now via the magic of Skype. Eryk, how are you? Congrats.
Hey, man, how you doing, man?
What a win. I have watched that finish and have tried to see like the timing and him getting his hand up off the mat and you connecting and just the viciousness of it all. How many times have you watched it over the last day or so?
Man, I've watched it a few times, but I don't really see what the controversy is. Before the fight, Blake Rice, the referee, came back there, sat down and asked, "Do you have?" I asked him what the 3-point rule or the grounded fight. And he explained that to me. They can have a hand on the ground and 2 feet on the ground. His a technical standard. So as soon as I saw that he picked his hip up off the ground on 2 feet, it was all good then.
So you're actually thinking of this. You're actually looking at this. It's not just, you're going to throw caution to the wind. You were waiting for his hand to get off the mat before throwing that kick, or trying to time it at least perfectly.
Yeah, man. If you watch the fight, 2 or 3 times, got up off the ground, back, several times throughout the fight, and he kept getting up that base. So, I looked up the clock, felt like he was going to step up like that, and when he did, stepped in and, tried to head into the cheap seat.
For some reason, your audio keeps coming in and out. I'm not sure what to do here. If the guys in the back could help me out, I don't know. It's like the connection is perfect, but the audio keeps coming in and out. And maybe I'll ask another question and see if that we can fight through it. You were a gigantic favorite. Did you notice that, by the way, that your line went up to you were a minus 1,000 by the time the fight started? Did you have any idea why?
Man, I don't know. Tim had nothing to lose. I think that I've been more of a fighter. He certainly fought a lot better than fighting his previous fight. So I feel like he just didn't have back against the wall, so he kind of came in.
Eryk, I don't want to interrupt you, but we're gonna call you on the phone because the audio just keeps coming out in and out, and I don't want to miss what you're saying. So we're gonna call you on your phone right now, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's call him. Although that sounded perfect right over there, I'm not sure what was going on. The connection was good so far. We're 3 for 3 with connections, but the audio kept coming in and out, and I want to hear what he has to say. So a big win for Eryk Anders, especially considering the fact that the last time we saw him in action was back in February when he had that big main event spot against Lyoto Machida. He ended up losing that fight, a close fight to Machida in Belém, Brazil. Lost that one via split decision. That was the first professional loss of his career. He's now 11-1, but he was in the end, and we'll talk to New York Rick about this when we have him on in the post show, but the line just skyrocketed in his favor to where he was a minus 1,000. In the end, he wins. And I do believe we have him back on the phone. Eryk, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, that's much better. At least we can hear you. We can't see your lovely face, but I wanted to hear what you had to say. I did hear you say, he had nothing to lose, and I agree. But the fight probably didn't start the way you thought it was going to. I mean, he came out very strong, right?
Man, and I think that was more on me than it was anything else, I just I felt a little off. I felt a little slow, felt a little lethargic. Not quite my usual self. I usually do get off the slower start to my fights. Usually, do start off a little slow, but this time I felt, a little bit different, a little bit off, and, I was able to get it going in that second and third round.
Why do you think you felt that way?
I'm not sure. I didn't warm up for as long as I usually do. I don't know. There are a couple of little different variables. But, at the end of the day, I came out there and got the win, so that's really all that matters.
In between the first and second, did you start to feel like you were getting your mojo back, or did you not feel like yourself for the entire fight?
No, after that first round, I kind of, maybe it takes me a few times to get hit to wake up a little bit. So, after that first round, I was kind of, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to go now. So, the first and second rounds are completely different from each other.
What about, as I was just talking about, as we were trying to reconnect, coming off the first loss of your career, the disappointment, it was a close fight against Machida. You asked for the fight. How did that play into things? Your preparation for this fight, the way you felt on Saturday, the way you felt in the middle of the fight, did you feel like you were overthinking things? Did the loss linger at all?
Not at all. The things I took away from that loss is, I definitely need more output. I think if you look at it on paper, that Machida fight, he landed, way more significant strikes. But if you watch the fight, those, what they call significant strikes, are leg kicks. So, I didn't think that you could, and I've always thought that you can't really win a fight off leg kicks because you got to do damage and, things like that. So I definitely wanted to have more output and do more damage in this fight than I did in the other one, and definitely didn't want it to go to the judges.
Right. So were you thinking that with like a minute or so left, I need to try to figure out how to end this?
No, I thought I was up. I think I lost the first round for sure, won the second, and was winning the third. So, but that's my goal. I always aim to finish. I think that from a spectator standpoint, fans want to see finishes. They don't want to see those boring point fights and things like that. So, man, every time I go out there, I'm looking for the finish. I'm searching for the finish, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others.
Did he rock you right before the finish? It seemed like he may have rocked you with the spinning back fist.
Nah, I mean, he made contact, but at no point in the fight was I like, out on my feet or wobbled or anything like that. He hit me with the spinning back fist, and I immediately hit him with the left.
Yeah.
And then a head kick right after that. So, yeah, it landed, but, I wasn't in any trouble or anything like that.
Were you surprised he got up the way in which he did, where he was essentially exposing himself?
Yeah, I let him get away with it, 2 or 3 times during the fight. I can't remember exactly how many, but every time he got up, he did that technical stand-up. And, I just said, man, I'm not going to let him get away with it a third time. So when he did it, man, my mouth started watering. And, I just stepped in with that kick.
I feel like this is a very cheap question to ask, but considering your background, that was the first thing that I thought of. Were you good at kicking? Like is that something that your football days helped you with at all?
Oh, no, man. I'm like Charlie Brown when I kick the ball, man. I'm liable to miss and land on my back. So, kicker was one of the positions I just stayed away from.
Okay, so none of that can be attributed to your football days.
Nah, a lot of film study on Lee Tiffin, though.
On what?
Lee Tiffin, he was the kicker at Bama. The all-time leading scorer at Alabama was the kicker.
Okay. See, now you know my college football knowledge. Not up to stuff.
We're going to get your IQ up, man. Don't worry.
All right. And I saw they had you and Coach Saban sitting together. You got this big rendezvous. That must have been fun, right, to come back and talk to him about where you're at now?
Yeah, especially, now that I sit in a different seat, back in the day, I sat in the player seat. Now I'm, like a grown man, coming back, not a player, former player. So, the interaction is a little bit different. So, it was cool to get back there and see how things have changed and how they're doing things now.
Did you feel like he looked at you in a different way, considering what you've now accomplished since leaving the school and how you're not a player? Like, did you sense a difference in the relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a distinct, from a player-coach relationship versus former player. He's coming back to, kind of show me what he's doing now. And he already knew that I was fighting and whatnot, but I don't think that he knew, like, the magnitude of it all. So, I think he was a little not starstruck. That guy talks to, Kobe Bryant and hangs out with those kind of guys all day, but it's just like, wow, he's actually, competing at the highest level in a totally different sport. So
There's no doubt that the win over Machida would have fast-tracked you. I mean, you'd obviously be in a different spot fighting different opponents. Do you find yourself thinking about that a lot, harping on it, or do you feel like you're over the fight?
Man, I'm over it, man. You know, I was over by the time I got back to America, to be honest with you. You know, after watching the fight, you know, I think that I won the second, third, and fourth round. You know, he obviously got one. There's not even any controversy about that. I spent the whole round on my back. And probably edged out the fifth round, but you know, I think the rounds 2, 3, and 4 were pretty, you know, decisive in my favor. But that's just on the kind of, you know, maybe a biased opinion. Kind of hard to step out of that. That was me in their fighting mindset, but I think that I got those 3 rounds. But you know, it really doesn't matter because it only matters to the judges. I definitely could have done more and should have done more, but just didn't.
Are you disappointed he's gone? Were you holding out hope that you might get another shot, or do you feel like that's going to be hard regardless of where he's fighting?
Man, you know, I don't think he wants that action, regardless of where he's at. You know, I think that if you check his demeanor after the fight, I think that he thinks that he lost that fight. You know, he goes over there, he sits on a stool, he puts his head down. You know, he's exhausted. I'm up bouncing around. You know, I thought I had won, and I think that he thought that he lost. So, you know, I think they gifted him the win, and, you know, it is what it is.
Okay, so you got that opportunity because you called your shot and you were very vocal about it. Now that you're back on track, were you going to do the same thing?
Yeah, hopefully. You know, I called out Elias Theodoro. You know, it's kind of a dick move, though, to be honest, because, you know, he's got a fight coming up. But I know he wants to fight in Toronto. I'm pretty sure he's from there. So, you know, it's just a matchup that makes sense. You know, he's in that 15, 13, 14 rank area, I believe. So, you know, for me, that makes a lot of sense to call him out and get that fight. For him, I know he wants to fight in Toronto, so he doesn't have to, you know, ask or lobby for anybody because, you know, your boy out here waiting.
And so, what did you say? You think it's a dick move? You said?
Well, not just because he's got a fight coming up already in Sao Paulo. So, you know, I'm definitely not trying to take his mind off of that. I want him to get a win and beat Shoeface in Brazil, just so that when I beat him, it makes it look that much better.
And why him?
Like I said, he's in that 13.
Just for that?
14,
Okay.
15 rank. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to climb the ranks. So, you know, we're gonna start at the bottom and work our way up.
It sounded like he was interested based on his reply, but just that he wants to focus on his next guy first. So it seems like you got his attention.
Yeah, you know, and that's fair. So, you know, do your thing, get your win, and come see your boy in Toronto.
All right. We'll see what happens in Sao Paulo. Congratulations, Eryk. Great win. By the way, what are we doing with the money? Anything? We know what we're doing?
Nah, I know. Me and my wife, we already had a vacation. She does fitness competition, so she's got a competition in Barcelona at the end of September. So I think we're gonna take a few extra days and, you know, go travel around Spain and whatnot.
Enjoy that. Enjoy the victory. Phenomenal performance. I think we'll be talking about that knockout at the end of the year when we're talking about knockouts of the year. So great stuff, and great to see you back on track. Thanks for doing this, Eryk.
Hey, appreciate you for having me, man.
My pleasure. Anytime. There he is. Your boy, Eryk Anders, back on track with a phenomenal knockout. If you have not seen it, go YouTube it, Google it, check it out on UFC.com. I think the UFC Twitter page tweeted it. It was phenomenal. 18 seconds left. Tim Williams getting up off the mat, and he times it perfectly. It was not illegal. It could have been 1 second earlier. It could have been illegal, but he completely knocked his... I mean, it was just amazing. It looked like a punt. And Williams just did not create enough separation between him and Anders and left himself exposed, and it was just an incredible finish. So he gets the win emphatically. There's no controversy there. And all those people, I guess, all those people who bet on him, who drove that line all the way up to -1,000, they're happy campers right now.